I see Ray J down there. He's ignoring my invites, but that's fine, Ray. I'll text you. He talked about Ray J bringing him the laptop, and people were attacking you when they came out and said that you were lying about content that existed in the world, and clearly Kanye put it out that he handed that to his wife, and she cried because she realized she was the most transacted person next to Jesus Christ, and I think he said Santa Claus. Did you see that? What did you think of that?
Right, you something on the phone. Jay.
Oh, he's on the phone. Okay. Okay. Well, we can't get that call. We can't get that answer from Ray J. Anyway, go ahead. We'll wait till.
I love the way that that's just honestly. I think that a lot of times Kanye does stuff and we don't realize that it's to catch our attention, and not only to catch our attention, but it's really to make us think. And a lot of times, you can't see someone's light the way you're supposed to once they get to a certain level because of the, like you said, the people in between. But him handing her that should have signaled to her that he was protecting her, and that, you know, black men protect their women, and we need that in our culture. You know what I mean by that?
I'm not gonna lie. When I heard that part when he said that he got the laptop and gave it to Kim, I low key respected Kanye more, because how many black men can do that? You know what I'm saying?
I respect Ray J for doing that, for handing it to the man. There were so many symbols of black power in that whole transaction, right?
On both ends, you are correct about that.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I remember
Kanye,
when like Wack was kind of like verbalizing the fact that he had the tape. And they was like, nah, fuck out of here, Wack, you lame, you a liar. No, that's not possible. I just remember that. Like, I remember these clubhouse rooms. I just remember that whole spill. And to kind of see Kanye West, like, actually, like, admit that that is true, and that, you know, he got access to it.
And Wack dropped that off.
Right. I think it's like,
everybody always want to call Wack a lot. It's really my brothers from New York. I don't know. They hate me so much. Anything I say, they say I'm.
Hey, Wack, everything they be like, Wack, you fucking liar. Wack, you ain't shit, nigga.
Hold on. So Wack and Ray J are both up here. Like I said, I think it was a moment that people, I was hoping people didn't miss, because he said it in two different parts. Wack was attacked online, called a liar, a clout chaser. Attorney even like tried to slander his name, that he was lying about these tapes. Wack, he then acknowledged that Wack went to him and had a conversation with him as a black man to another black man. Then later said Ray J dropped off the laptop with all the content on there, and that she cried because it was a moment. Why? Hold on. Wack and Ray J. Why was it important to hand that to that man?
I'm gonna tell you why, right? For one, I watched my little brother go through a transition, right? You know, Ray J used to be a wild boy, and I watched him become a husband and a father. So me and him always had an understanding that once Kanye became a husband and a father, right? Remember all this shit going on, neither one of these dudes held those positions. We're going to respect him the same way we would want a motherfucker to respect us. So don't get it fucked up. The black market been coming at us for many moons. 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, right? We always had the understanding that the only person that we ever turned this over to was Jay, because the situation had changed. So when Bootleg Kev asked me about the shit, I spoke on the shit. He like, yo, you gon' say, nah, we wouldn't do nothing but get that shit to Ye. Motherfuckers took that. He lying and all this crazy shit. And I wasn't saying it to brag or boast. It's just, I think some of the shit I say be so crazy sounding, but the shit be real. We come from a crazy ass world, living a crazy life. Shit that half of y'all wouldn't even fathom it went on. Like the shit I know, the stories I know, the shit I done seen, the receipts I got of fucking nigga whole life up, but we don't go there. So Ray J always, the shit always been over there. He don't even give a fuck about it. He know I know it's there and it ain't gonna move until I'm saying, blood, bro, this is what we doing with it. But we always both had understanding as men that if this shit moved, it's only moving to one person. And we left it like that. Even if they was to separate, those children are still involved. And one thing we got in common, you know, is we both fathers, we daddies. So we understand that shit. We understand the power of the internet. At this point in time, when the first situation happened, there wasn't no kids involved. He wasn't even involved. Ye wasn't even involved. Had nothing to do with him. When shit, changed and Ray became a husband, became a father, had kids, and Ye married her and became a husband and a father. Shit, the narrative changed, and we kept it solid.
Well, Wack actually answered my question, and shouts out to Wack and Ray J for just protecting, the family. As Kanye was saying, they always try to take the fathers out of the homes and take the men out of the situation of being a part of a family, and that's what was my question. But you already answered it, and shouts out to both of you for keeping that sacred.
And when I called Ray J, me and Ray J spoke this weekend about his brand Raycon, and we were talking, and I just kind of mentioned, oh, by the way, Kanye mentioned that you brought him the laptop to the jet. He was shocked that Kanye put it out. So I want to be very clear. There was no, hey, tell me the story. We gonna put it. I didn't even know he was going to say that. I didn't even know Ray brought him the laptop. So I just want to be clear. It was what I was sitting there experiencing was, damn, this is really dope how in our world, especially in the world of mass media with the most famous female in the world and this rap icon, hip hop icon, whatever, there was a lot of money that could have been made by exploiting that and then further
what
in that family. You know what I mean? And I also want to put out there when Kris Jenner found out that I was friends with Wack, she sent me all types of threats, and in a nice white woman way about how her attorneys, this and that. And like I told her, you're gonna meet somebody that don't give a fuck, Chris. And my name is I don't give a fuck. Don't call me with that. See the approach, the traditional approach of I'm gonna take you down, I'm gonna sue you, I'm gonna attack you, I'm gonna profit off this tape, I'm gonna exploit you. That's that normal Hollywood bullshit. What happened between Ray J, Wack, and Kanye was some real black excellence, black power, black men, black father protecting type shit that they don't get credit for. So that's why I keep underscoring it for this room.
Big facts.
And for the record,
that's what they
fear. Kanye got my number, right? Called me and he like, I need to come talk to you. I said, you sure? He said, sure, send my address. The Negro pulled up on me by himself. He didn't know where he was pulling up to. You know what I'm saying? He like, yo, Wack, let me know what's real, like, cause one thing I know been watching you. You say some shit, but you don't lie cause you don't give a fuck. So, at that point in time, I showed him a document. When he seen that document, he like, oh shit, right? He said, this is why the attorney got quiet. I said, yeah. I wasn't gonna let him call me no lie, have people looking at me like I'm crazy. That's out. You know what I mean? We fight back. So he like, yo, I'm gonna need such and such, I need. I said, don't worry about it, make it happen. You know what I mean? Little bro gonna, y'all can handle that. I think it was better them two than me bringing it. You know what I'm saying? I brought him a document to let him know what I was saying was real, right? So I think it was better him and Ray putting a closure to that.
And I'm gonna say this since Ray J ain't talking. I said, Ray, how much you sell it to him for? He said, I didn't sell it to him for nothing. I gave it to that man. I wasn't gonna charge. Like, I gave that man that.
That's what I said we was gonna do.
And then he gave it to his wife and she cried. And then the media turns around and spins. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. These sources, quote, sources better be careful because I ain't fucking around with that. I know who the sources are. I know Tracy Romulus is running plays over there for the Kardashians, and I have no problem calling names, and that's the Jason Lee T. Jason Lee. I don't care because ultimately, honesty saves everybody time. If you want to go and say, Kim said this, Chris said this, said that, don't say a source said it. Put your fingerprints on it so everybody knows what address to send the problem to or the reaction to. You know what I mean? So again, shout out to Ray and shout out to Wack.
Hey, Jason. My name is Jen. I just wanted to say that I thought the interview was amazing, and something I really got from this when I watched it, it gave me strong Tupac vibes of the interviews that we would see with him that were so iconic and live on forever. And like when I think of the famous interview when he was talking about how the rich have so much and the poor, it's not fair, and the way he would speak with passion about certain topics. When I was watching this interview, it just made me feel like this is gonna live on like those clips did. And there were just, when he was talking about politics or just the family issue, the children, just so many moments that I just felt like this interview is so iconic. And not to throw shade because I liked the Charlemagne one and others, but I didn't get the vibes that this one, when I watched those, that they were as important and as legendary as this one. And I don't know if it was just because the way you didn't talk over him and the way you let him express himself, but so many hot takes that came out. I don't know, for some reason when I watched it, I was like, wow, it's like watching Pac do his interviews with the passion that he had, and I just really thought it was phenomenal.
Thank you. I received that.
Hey, Jason, like you said, I think we need to start having artists want to be honest about their situations to go in front of, whoever, journalists, and talk about certain shit. Like Clubhouse played a role in that earlier, I think like a year ago, when situations were happening with celebrities and they would actually get on stage and talk. There were a couple of occasions where there were, I would say, solution-based conversations where people came to amends to be like, okay, let's agree to disagree, and just like did it. And then there were other conversations that were just blatantly ignorant. But
But
like you
let me
said,
speak to that. Y'all gotta let them feel it's safe to do that.
yeah,
Because
sure.
because the reason why celebrities don't want to talk to me isn't because I'm messy per se. About us all day, and then guess what? The blogs talk about what everybody's talking about. It is a cancerous cultural phenom that we are not paying attention to until a nigga call it out. That's
I
the only
mean,
reason
hey,
why.
Jason, hey,
And look,
Jason,
we
And you
ain't
gotta
in
Jason,
and you
hey,
control
gotta
of the
Jason,
give more credit
narrative.
to where the
Hold
credit's
Jason,
on.
due at,
you gotta,
When
Jason.
y'all start looking
hey,
in,
hey,
Yo,
hey,
one mic,
Jason.
one mic, y'all. One mic, one mic, one mic.
Hey, this Ray J, just think about, just really, just think about what I did. Just really like think about what I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then analyze that. You know.
Hey, yo, Ray J, I want a scooty bike.
And look,
Hey,
and look,
but
and I
who in
and look,
control of the
and
narrative?
I ain't said nothing to nobody about it.
hey, Ray J, this Suave.
It ain't
Hey,
nothing to be
remember what I
proud of.
told you? I said, welcome to the land of porn star, and you like, nah, bro. I don't want that title. You was gentleman about the whole shit, even though it was a master plan being put in position. And for y'all don't know who Ray J is, y'all know
You gotta fix your
Nick Cannon
phone,
know
bro. I
all these
can't
guys.
Yo,
understand you.
Suave XXX, we can't hear you, bro.
Hey,
Your
nah,
Why is
Ray,
mic
hey,
everybody
muffled.
nah, Ray J,
unmiking
that
at
was
the
that was
same
real
time?
Is
gangster.
it better? You hear me
That
now?
was a big gangster move. I'm just saying, I don't know if the media really posted like that. I mean, I ain't really been on today, but I don't think the media posted that. You know what I'm saying? The laptop was given back. But if it was, though, like you said it did, and I believe you, that's some real gangster shit, man. Most niggas won't do that.
The media
Well,
will
I
never,
hey, look,
media
bro.
will never
Hey,
highlight.
hey, listen, bro. It wasn't a laptop, bro. It was the fucking.
Hey, hey,
It was.
hey, 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 hey. Leave that shit where it's at,
Nah,
man.
let him tell it all. Wax,
Nah,
let
it
him
Nah,
ain't
No,
tell
no
it
I
all.
think
telling
I
nothing,
think that we
Wax.
owe all
That
three.
nigga, that
Leave
Wack
nigga
that
Ray
wasn't
had
shit.
a
even
hard
smart.
drive.
Nah, it was
Leave that
just.
shit where it's at,
Got
I'm
that
man.
not even.
exclusive.
It
That
ain't
nigga
even.
had the
It ain't.
original
Listen.
copy.
I think
I'm
that
telling
we
All
you,
I'm
owe
Bro,
boy.
leave
all
that
three of
where
you.
it's
Hey,
at, man.
I
yeah,
think we owe
leave it.
all three of
Kanye didn't spoke. Let him speak, goddamn.
you. I think we
Hey,
owe
yo,
all
Wack,
three
is
of
it
you.
wrong to ask for the original copy? Like,
Hey, that ain't
I
just
think we
Shit,
me.
owe.
hey, man. Hey, listen. It ain't ours no more. Once we turn it over, man, you gotta ask the people it belong to.
exactly.
We
I
So you
think
done
didn't
with
answer
that.
the
Hey,
question.
Right.
look. Hey,
Hey,
He
real
I
gave
think
him a
quick.
we owe
floppy
all
drive.
three of
I
Hey,
you.
I
gave
just
it.
want to.
Speak up
Hey,
for
whack.
So
Ray.
listen. I listen to the
We
moderators.
no
I want to
longer
have
have the content.
yeah, to the moderators. Anybody talking over Wack and Ray J right now, move them to the audience and let's move it forward. We don't do that in my
Yes.
room. I want to hear from the people that we talking to. And somebody said earlier that it wasn't a big deal to do it. And again, I'm saying you're full of shit because it is. Because a lot of you niggas would have been trying to sell that motherfucker to me or TMZ or somebody else. Let's keep it real.
I just think that we owe all three of you gentlemen a really big up for your with strength and you being able, because when you get to a certain level in life, you have to learn that you have to be able to have some type of strength. I call it not letting the beast out the cage. That's my personal for me. But you have to learn to be able to do that. And it's not something that we are always taught in environments. So big ups to all three of you gentlemen. As a Haitian woman, I can say it's really the mark of revolutionaries. Literally.
So
Black men
Yeah,
taking the lead and actually revolutionizing the way that we are seen, perceived, understood, acknowledged, and respected. And it has a trickle down effect for us all.
but speaking
Just
of,
think about it like this. They offered Jason Lee $1 million for the Kanye West interview. What the fuck you think them other offers would have been coming for that?
But speaking of
You know
learning,
what I'm saying?
Jason,
But it was out of respect. Yeah, you know, I feel like we did the right thing. You know what I mean?
I think you did too, and I could tell how appreciative he was of that. And again, again, a lot of the stuff that people look at, and I said to Kanye in the interview that like a lot of people have opinions on the outside, but when you're in it and you see it all going down, it's a whole different experience. My takeaway was three black men really handled a very sensitive thing that could have fucking shook the world as we know it in a manner that was conducive to showing respect for the black family. And then also a black man used another black man to tell that story. So if nobody else got that, I got it. So hopefully other people
I
got
think
that.
black people
I
should
wouldn't have
interview
got it
black
if I ain't
people.
We
come in
got
this
it.
room though. If I ain't come in this room, I wouldn't have got that because the narrative is something else. So when I came in this room, I was surprised. This is my first time being in one of these type of rooms. So I see little shit here and there in the media, especially about WAP. So my perception was different. So when I pulled up in here and I heard what that man was saying, I'm like, damn, it made me check myself. Because I'm like, damn, I'm getting a perception of a man through the media that I don't even know. I ain't a man who live in a culture, a California culture I don't really come from and know too much about. But then I'm hearing them, and it's so different from the narrative and the image that's painted about him. So I'm really surprised, and even a bit pleased to see that, you know what I'm saying, shit ain't as negative as they making it seem between our people.
No, but see,
So
I and
what?
that I think right there is the power of the whole conversation we're having, and what Kanye said. I'm taking back and controlling my narrative, right? Because again, like I can take a 45-minute interview. Let me just tell you how the industry, how the media
Yo,
work on here.
Jason, let me say this before you get going.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Because this is Jason Lee's room, and certain things as a manager I gotta protect my client from, right? And I don't want to seem like no bitch ass nigga. What he was gonna say is in my PTR, so y'all can get it from there without it being said. Go ahead, Jason.
Well, there you go. So you could take a 45-minute.
Wait,
You could take a 45-minute interview and you could chop that motherfucker up into 45 1-minute clips. And then I can put one clip on the Shade Room that says X. I could put one clip on MSN that says X. I can one clip on Good Morning America that says X. And you can create so many different conversations that drives all eyeballs and advertising on different platforms, right? It's a money game. It's not always an integrity game. So just know, like, what you're realizing is that you can be manipulated. Your thoughts that you think you own that are free thought can be manipulated and is manipulated by the media. Think about
I
it.
I
For sure,
think
that's
Hey,
why
I
I
yo,
said
think
I had to
Jason
black.
Lee.
check myself.
I'm a
Hey,
agree with
Jason
that.
Lee.
If
I don't want to
1 minute,
yell.
I'm gonna agree with that because I had a brother that went through a similar situation. Um, he ended up getting arrested due to some white kid, trying to rob him, and dude was in the streets and whatnot. And they went after him in a fully white town, and the cops pulled him over. And in the news, they made it seem like, oh, they had a gun, they were shooting up the streets, and none of that happened. There was no gun. They weren't shooting. They were just chasing the kid down the street because they found where he was at. And